Close your eyes, unclench your teeth, relax your jaw, and just focus on your breath as you take a slow, steady breath in through the nose, and a smooth, steady breath out. Breathing in, and slowly and smoothly breathing out again. Finding stillness, both mentally as well as physically. And just take a reading of how you're feeling today. Take inventory. Scan your body for any ailments, any injuries, any aches and pains. And still with your hands just molded to your knees or your thighs, just let your chin just drop to the cradle of your collarbones and let your head just hang, its weight tractioning the neck. Then roll your chin to the right shoulder and look over your right shoulder blade. And then roll your chin to the left shoulder and glance over your left shoulder blade. Roll your chin back to the center of your collarbones and cradle the back of your head into your palms, framing your neck with your thumbs. Lean into your hands, draw the elbows back, and then exhale, lean right over to the right side and draw your left elbow to the heavens, right elbow to the mat. Grounding your left seat, leaning your head into your palms. Back to the midline, take a deep breath in, and then lean over to the left. Same thing, second side. Coax the right elbow to the heavens, left elbow sinking towards the earth. Come back to the center and release your hands behind you, interlocking your fingers as they arrive behind your tail. Take another deep breath in and open up your chest. As you lift your gaze through heart and eyes, try not to throw your head back to jam the neck. Let your knuckles start to rise. Feel that stretch across the front of your chest and shoulder blades. Slowly exhale and hinge forwards at the hips, keeping your feet active as you fold into your seated crossed leg forward bend. Essentially lifting your knuckles up and overhead, but not if that's compromising your shoulders or causing you any discomfort or strain. And then release your hands back down and stay low as you take your hands out in front of you. Poise your fingers like little wigwams on the mat and ground your sitting bones. Let your head and your heart continue to melt towards the floor as you take two or three long deep breaths there. Imagine each time you inhale, dragging your fingers to your shins and your heart moving forwards like it's surfing waves. And as you exhale and your belly caves, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into that forward bend. Stay low and walk your hands over to the right and walk your right hand as far back as it will go and your left hand in the opposite direction, gently steering your torso towards your inner thigh and following the progress of your right hand as it reaches back behind you with your gaze. Now slide the left hand up and place it to the outer right thigh and place your right hand behind your tail. Look forwards to begin this twist. Take a deep breath in and feel as if the crown of your head is being lifted by a thread towards the heavens. Exhale and squeeze tightly the muscles deep in your belly and those that swaddle your waistline. Gradually begin to move your way up through the vertebrae until you're glancing over your shoulder again. And then pick up your right hand, keep your left hand where it is, and then just lean, drape your shoulder over your left thigh, your right arm to frame the side of your face, drop into gravity again. Try not to force that shape, but each time you exhale, see if you can drop a little bit deeper. Each time you inhale, balloon your belly, fill your chest. Now come all the way up with your arms crossed. Bring your hands to shoulder blades and lift your elbows without letting your shoulders rise. And then with your hands, just tuck your fingers into the shoulder blades, little indentation where the shoulder blades and the spine there ahead. Just take a little figure of 8. Make a little figure 8 right there between the shoulder blades at the back of your heart, just gently manipulating that figure of 8 in your mind's eye between the shoulder blades, whilst you gently prise with the help of your fingers your shoulder blades. And then just come back to stillness, and as you do, just inhale, take a really deep breath in there and just open up your heart. And as you exhale, let your hands just come all the way down by your sides. Change the cross of your legs, pop the opposite shin in front. As you inhale, raise your hands, and as you bring your hands to prayer, exhale and deliver your fingertips between your shoulder blades. Lean against your inner wrists and wing out the elbow tips. Stretch out the armpits to triceps, the front of your body again. Raise your hands, inhaling. Exhale, take the hands all the way back behind you. Change the way you're threading your fingers so it feels a little bit weird. Send your knuckles to the floor. Take a deep breath in. Begin to encourage those knuckles to rise. Again, don't force the activity. As you next exhale, fold once again into your forward bend with your feet in flexion to protect the ankles, the knees, even the hips as you fold. Lower your knuckles to your tail as you next exhale, and remain low as you swim your hands out from behind you to place them back in front of you. And there, poised on your fingers and grounding your sitting bones, take a few breaths, deepening your forward bend, surfing the waves of your breath again. Imagining dragging your fingertips towards your shins as you breathe in, and sinking deeper into that space between your arms as you breathe out. Remain low as you curl your hands over to the left this time, and walk both hands in two opposite directions away from one another. Only you're going to follow the progress of your left hand as it creeps its way towards the back corner of your mat. Steer your torso towards your inner thigh. Breathe into whatever stretch is there. Just focus on really breathing as deeply in and as slowly and completely out as you can. And then just slide your right hand back and place it to the side of the thigh. Place your left hand behind your tail, and looking forwards again, take a conscious deep breath in. Feel yourself being drawn up as if by the hair follicles on the crown of your head. And then exhale and just tighten that corset of flesh around your waistline. Switch on that corset of steel deep within your belly and begin to twist, starting from the waist and moving up through the thoracic spine into the neck. Glancing right into the corners of both eyes, and when that moment arrives, keep your right hand on the left thigh, let your left hand part company with the earth, and frame your face with the left arm as you drop into that shape and just enhance that stretch into the side body. Drop in as deeply as you can. And then just slowly come up again, and this time bring your hands to your kneecaps, still with your arms crossed in a not dissimilar way to the way that you had them before, but this time with your chin bowed to your chest, arms crossed in front of your heart. Inhale, raise the arms and take another little back bend, smiling upwards enigmatically towards the heavens. Exhale, now honing coordination skills, change the cross of your arms again as you fold in. Inhale. Deep breaths, and exhale, change the cross. Inhaling and exhaling. One more the same as you inhale again and exhale to just slowly draw in, bowing your head, gazing towards your heart and gathering your navel to your spine. Press your knees into your palms and gently prise your shoulder blades apart a bit more. And then from there, just release your hands back up to the sky, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just rain the hands back down to the mat, bringing yourself from your seated position Take your knees wider apart. Draw your sit bones back towards your heels and let your torso be framed between your thighs. Take your arms forwards and try to ground your forehead. As you melt your heart to the floor, maybe turn your palms to the sky, that external rotation of your arms helping to gently prise the shoulder blades apart again. Just drop once more into your body. Imagine your shadow silhouette just entering your own body. And just allow yourself just to gain some perspective as to what's going on within, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually this morning. From that passive wide-legged child's pose, turn your palms once more to face the floor and just rise back up to kneeling. Set the knees beneath the hips. And as you exhale, come into your cat arch, deeply caving the belly and arching the back as your chin tucks into your chest. Tuck under your toes, slowly initiate movement with the tailbone, work your way through the vertebrae into your dog tail, lifting your gaze. Exhale again as your belly caves, tailbone travels between the legs, toenails press firmly down as you let your chin come to your chest and the navel come to spine. Do that another time, inhaling. And exhaling back into your cat arch. This time, come to a neutral spine whereby your back is flat. Take your right foot to the back of your mat, left hand underneath your left shoulder, and raise your right hand upwards towards the sky, taking yourself into a variation of your side plank. Inhale, reach up and overhead, framing your face again. Look up past your tricep and balloon your breath into your side ribs and waist. Come all the way up with both arms outstretched, slightly dropping the right hip. Prepare to come into gate pose. Spread your wings. Reach way over your ankle bone with your fingertips. And as you come into gate pose, let your right arm come up and overhead once again to frame your face. Maintain a really heavy tail, nudging it towards the pubic bone. From gate pose, slow motion cartwheel as you bring your hands back to the front of your mat to shoulder width. Spin on your knee and take your back foot, your foot between your hands. And as you bring your right foot up between your hands and find that runner's lunge, bring your hands onto your front thigh and stabilize. Gently drop a little bit deeper. Lean back a little bit more and gaze slightly higher and higher up the wall of both heart and eyes. If you feel sufficiently stable, raise your arms to frame your ears, deep breath in. And as you reach up high, lifting your gaze to heart and eyes, just press firmly into that front foot. Lift and open up the chest, front body a little bit more. For a stronger stretch, take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Pull on your left wrist and lean slightly over to the right, but keep that stability right there at the center of your body. Breathe via the left armpit all the way down to your hip flexor and thigh. Slowly from there, deposit your elbow of your left arm onto the side of your right knee and bring your hands to prayer. If you want more, lift your back knee off the floor and try to avoid gaining height. Push back through the heel, hug together your inner thighs. Find that core stability. Keep breathing steadily into that shape. From your twist, if you lifted your knee, descend it, exhaling. And with your hands still in prayer, revisit your kneeling lunge, raising your arms, lifting your gaze through heart and eyes. Try to coax your arms out of your peripheral sight line, nudge your hips forwards, but try not to collapse into your joints. Keep that right foot really pressing firmly down into the ground. As you exhale, rainbow the hands back to the mat. As you bring your right knee back to join your left knee, come back to kneel. And kneeling on all fours, just begin to circle your pelvis, circle your hips. Gradually, with belly still snugly fastened to your spine, begin to increase the rotation of your pelvis. Start to shift weight bearing forwards over your wrists and shift your seat back over your heels and swing your hips out from right side of the mat to the left. Then wind it back and perform those big circles in the opposite direction. Still with your navel gathered to your spine. Once you've circled in both directions equally, come back to stillness. Exhale and revisit your cat arch, caving your belly and doming your back. Tuck under your toes, inhaling, move your way through the spine, take dogtail again. Exhale as you come into your cat. Inhale as you come into your dogtail, try drawing the wrists and the knees to meet. One more like that, exhaling, really arch the back. Inhale. One more cat arch as you exhale, but this time coming to a neutral spine, whereby, of course, your back is flat. I'm going to change sides so that you don't come, and take your left foot back to the end of your mat. Step your right hand slightly back underneath your shoulder. Stack your left shoulder over your right shoulder, left hip over your right hip. And then reach up and overhead with your fingertips, doming your side ribs and waist towards the sky. Good, big stretch. Imagine sending bolts of lightning through those fingertips to the wall ahead. Ground the back foot, particularly the little toe side. Now push away the mat with this right hand, come all the way upright. Spread your wings, heavily weight your tail and slightly drop the left hip. Reach beyond the outer ankle with your fingertips, reach, and then hinge, coming into your gate pose. Breathing into the side body again. Try not to collapse your weight through this left hand, but let it lightly slide down the side of your calf to your ankle. Try not to pitch forwards or lean too far back, it's a side stretch. So move, as the name suggests, sideways. Now a slow motion cartwheel on the menu as you cartwheel your hands forwards to the front of your mat, back to shoulder width. Brilliant. Now take your back foot, your left foot in this case, forwards between both of your hands. You might want to nudge your back knee back a bit and pad it out. Then pop your hands onto your thighs, heavily weight your tail, and just take a moment to pause there, nudging your hips forwards, stabilizing through your foundations. Breathing your most conscious breaths. When you're ready, raise your hands all the way upwards towards the sky as you breathe in. As you exhale, again, weight the tail, and then if you want more, take hold of your right wrist this time with your left palm and give it a friendly tug as you stretch out the side body. Breathe by the armpit down to the hip. And from that side stretch, having opened up the side body, now utilize that stretch to bring you more spaciously into your twist. Right elbow, left thigh, hands to prayer. Shrug that top shoulder back. Keep the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Back of your head moving from your heart. If you went further before and accepted the invitation to lift your back knee, then make sure that you apply the same technique on this side. Well done, brilliant. Breathe steady, breathe deep. From the twist, slowly lower the knee if you lifted it. And with your hands still in prayer, just woohoo, whilst I fall over, you can stay stable. Reach up high, reaching up all the way to the sky with your arms, moving slightly behind your ears. As you exhale, bring both hands back to the mat to shoulder width. And then pick up the back knee and let the right foot come alongside the left foot as you arrive at the top of your mat for your ragdoll, your forward bend. Fantastic. Ground your feet, spread your toes. Bend your knees as much as you need. Hang out there with a heavy head and arms just hanging limp like noodles. Subtly rock the weight forwards and backwards between the front and backs of your feet, moving from heels to toe pads to heels. Find the center spot whereby both of your feet are equally grounding your weight front and back. Spread your toes. Try not to claw with your toes, but particularly press down through the big toe mounds, little toe mounds and the heels. Encourage your arches to lift, your belly to gather up to your spine. By plugging those points of the feet into the ground, see if you can feel that effect in your hamstring stretch. Still with that same feeling of grounding, long roots drawing into the earth. Begin to slowly rise, a rebound energy traveling up through the heels, up the legs, and then slowly stacking your spine. Come all the way up with a heavy tail, neutral pelvis, and turn your palms to face forwards and ahead. Ground the feet again, spread the toes, and send a little bit of energetic charge down towards the tips of your fingers and thumbs and all the way up your spine to your crown. Feel the muscles of your legs switched on, the muscles clinging to the bones and rising to the hips. Feel your core muscles online, heavy tailbone, gently nudging towards the pubic bone. Take a deep breath in and just circumnavigate the space that you're in with your fingertips. Come to raised mountain pose, lean back a little bit more and just stretch out the fibers of your front body, hip flexors and thighs. As you exhale, keep your hands in prayer as you hinge at the hip crease and fold back into your forward bend. Slowly from there, inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale and fold deeper, step your left foot back, turn your heel in and square your hips. Take your arms forwards, make the forward root, hunting out there somewhere on the campo, come into your warrior one. And as you come into warrior one, stabilize, again grounding through both feet evenly. As you come into warrior one, tilt your gaze through navel, heart and eyes towards the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands behind your back and try bringing them into reverse prayer. And if, like me, you've got any kind of injury in your shoulder, wrist, hand, wherever it might be, you might prefer to hold on to your elbow points instead. We're going to straighten your front leg. Imagine between your bare feet, you're trying to rip the yoga mat into two. Hold that position, grounding through the feet, opening the front body. Now exhale and keep the front body nice and spacious, the hips aligned as you hinge towards your tabletop, bringing your torso parallel to the floor. Keep winging the elbows back, keep opening your chest and smile your collarbones down towards the right toes. Hinge a little bit deeper into your pyramid pose, still keeping those hips aligned. Keep a little slack in the knees, back of your neck in line with the rest of your spine. From there, slowly release your hands from prayer or from however you've had them behind your back and bring them either to the floor or place them on two blocks or on your fingertips. If you've got blocks, chunky books, of course, and then fold a little bit deeper. And maybe that's fine, or maybe you want to move into a twist. Keep your left hand on the ground and turn your right hand to the sky and draw the thigh bone of your right leg back into the hip. And try to coax the right hip back a bit as you lengthen through the side ribs and waist. Stack your shoulders and lift your face towards the root of your thumb. In that revolved triangle again, keep both feet equally grounding. From your revolved triangle, revisit your pyramid pose. Take a moment or two to pause in that forward bend. Belly gathered to spine again, gazing beyond the toes to move a little bit more deeply into the stretch. And then from here, rebend that front knee. Release your hands from the ground. Inhale slowly, smoothly as you rise triumphantly back into your warrior one. From here, step onto your front foot, your right foot in this case, and bring your left ankle in front of your right shin, just beneath the knee. Maybe place your hands on your hips and make sure that they're aligned. Heavy weighted tailbone, neutral pelvis, long spine. Reach up high with your fingertips to the sky, inhaling. Grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand again. And coming into Shiva balance, either glancing past your right armpit towards the heel of your left foot, pointing the toes of the left foot, gently coaxing the left knee out to the left side. Or you can hone your balancing skills a bit more and peer up past your tricep towards the heavens. But try to keep your navel still and keep building strength and stability in your balance. Stillness mentally, just listen to your breath as it comes and goes. So from your balance, I'm going to just step to the other side of the mat as you unhook the left ankle and open out into warrior 2. Gosh, it's properly hunting season here now. Breathe steadily. They're getting all those wild boar. Breathe steadily. Stretch out your arms. Heavily weight your tail. Draw your knee towards your little toes. Really stretch out across your shoulder blades and collarbones. Really mean it. Feel as if all the muscles are switching on and lengthening. Meantime, have a really upright spine and a heavily weighted tail. Now straighten your front leg, take a deep breath in. And this time as you reach over the toes, again, don't be in a hurry to hinge as you take your open triangle pose. Look up towards the root of your thumb. And then just wake up your shoulder. Begin to take your left arm forwards and then gently brush the fingertips above or across the ground between your toes. Circling nice and slowly, trying to keep the majority of your body pretty still and just mobilizing the shoulder, the rotator cuff. Circle one way, and then when you're ready, begin to wind your arm back in the opposite direction. And as you wind that left arm back in the opposite direction, take your time before meeting me with your left fingertips spread broadly and your hand reaching up again to the sky. Back of your neck lengthening away from the back of your heart. Try not to let your head hang, but keep that length between your crown and tail. For a transition, slowly now release your hand from your ankle shin and take a reversed warrior. And then slow motion cartwheel of your hands, bringing into the mat to shoulder width. You can practice a full vinyasa if you choose, or you can simply step up straight away and take your forward bend, meeting one another when you're ready after your forward bend, coming slowly all the way up into mountain pose. Raise your arms, frame your ears, gather your palms to prayer. And then exhale with hands in prayer, hinge at the hip crease and fold back in again. Inhale, halfway rise. And as you exhale, step your right foot back this time, bending your left knee, heading into your warrior 1 setup. Square those hips, range those fingertips to rise up to the sky with your arms framing your ears. Again, set the pose. Square the hips, heavy tail, tilt your gaze higher towards the sky. Try not to grip with the toes. And as you stretch out the front body, keep the legs really strong and switched on. Steady breaths. And then either bringing your hands behind your back into reverse prayer, or modifying and taking your arms behind your back and taking hold of your elbows. So again, just opening up the front body as you begin to gently coax that left leg straight and avoid locking that front knee. Just keep breathing steadily, puckering together your shoulder blades, expanding the area surrounding your heart. From there, as you exhale, slowly begin to hinge at the hip crease. Keep drawing the elbows upwards, shoulders drawn back, and as you fold, your gaze fixed forwards and ahead. Pause at your sort of tabletop, parallel point with the floor, and adjust the hips by maybe maneuvering your right foot to an angle that allows your right hip to come forwards, maybe drawing your left thigh bone back into your left hip and encouraging the left hip to move back. When you're happy the hips are suitably aligned, fold a little bit deeper, but keep your focus softly gazing beyond the toes along the center line of your mat. Try not, in other words, headbutt your inner calf, your shin. When you feel you've got yourself down into that forward bend, as far as you can comfortably go. In your own time, release your hands from behind you and pop your hands back on the ground or on your blocks or on your fingertips. Lift your torso slightly away from the ground, and as you take your twist, if you went into the twist before, just begin to mobilize from the waistline up through the thoracic spine. Twisting, taking your time and looking up towards the root of your thumb as you go. Draw the thigh bone into the hip socket and try to keep squeezing together your inner thighs. Revisit your forward bend. Bring both hands back to the ground or to your supports again. Following your twist, see if you can deepen that forward bend a little bit more. Shoulders relaxed, facial muscles relaxed, feet grounding, and that little bit of softness in both knees. Slowly from here, rebend the front knee. Raise both arms simultaneously. Reach up high with your fingertips to the sky. And then step your back foot up and slide it through to place your ankle just beneath your shin. Find your balance, taking hold of the left wrist, gently tugging on the left wrist, or to the right wrist, I beg your pardon, and just opening up the right hip as you gaze down towards your heel, towards your ankle. Find that absolute stillness. And if, like where I am, there's all sorts going on, dogs barking, hunters shooting, music playing in someone's garden, there's a lot of distractions around. There's nothing like a balance, surrounded by distractions, for you to truly hone your balancing skills. And when you're ready, you're going to unhook the ankle from the shin and step out widely into warrior two. Now, as you bring your tailbone heavy into the center line of the pose, keep the spine upright, stretch out your arms, pause for a while, just experience that stretch and the strengthening that you can get in this pose. Long neck, relax shoulders, spread your fingers, and heavily weighting the tail, see if you can drop in a little bit deeper. From your warrior two, still looking out in front of you, straighten your front leg as you inhale and rise. Begin to reach with arms parallel to the ground over your left toes and find yourself coming into Trikonasana in your triangle pose, stacking your shoulders, lifting your gaze towards the root of your right thumb. With your feet equally grounding your weight, begin that circumnavigation of the shoulder girdle with your right arm, your fingertips tracing a great big cartwheel shape. And then just wind it back when you're ready, sweeping the cobwebs out of your shoulder, opening up the chest. Finally, just stretch your right fingertips to the sky and pause back in your triangle shape. Try to really barrel your chest, your navel, your eyes to the sky, whilst stretching out across your collarbones and shoulder blades, opening your hips, stretching out your hamstrings. Coming up next, as you release your hand from your front shin or ankle, take a reverse warrior. Take a deep breath in, balloon your right thigh into your palm. And then cartwheel your hands and bring them back to shoulder width to frame the front foot once more. Either take a vinyasa, stepping back to plank, muse chest chin or chaturanga, downward facing dog. Or simply bunny hop and step right up to the front of your mat and revisit your forward bend, Uttanasana. Rounding through your feet and spreading your toes, partway rise. Exhale, hinge at the hip crease, fold back into your thighs. And as you slowly circle your fingertips, bring your hands back to prayer and home to the heart space, blink, close your eyes, and stand momentarily for a few breaths in the stillness of the mountain, taking a reading once again of how you're feeling.